Night gathers, and now my cast begins. It shall not end until my death. I shall take no wife, use no Microsoft product, father no children. I shall wear no crowns.
What the hell's he on about?
I shall
He got some fancy Game of Thrones beer. It's like a theme bit.
Watcher
and he's taking it, well, kind of
God,
seriously. Would you cut that out?
I pledge my life and honor to the Night's Watch for this night and all nights to come.
Coming up on Linux GameCast Weekly, Steam boxens everywhere. Humble rediscovers Linux support. Cities get in motion, and Unvanquished brings the grangers? ? Then we throw the chairs at Papo Yo. All this plus your hate mail. Let's go. And welcome back to another Linux GameCast Weekly, the show that covers the latest Linux gaming news, reviews, and whatever the hell else we come up with. Joining me every week, Massa Sveng, Massa Mateus, and you, Shatrilm. And I'm just fucking with you. This is the best Linux gaming podcast in existence.
And
We're
by
not
best we
only-
mean only.
Bingo. Not
Default,
only are we part of the
default.
glorious PC gaming master race, we are the elite forces, special forces, if you will. Before we get into the news and the beating of horses, we do like to see what's been going on with each other. J-Man, take it away. You got some beers?
I have a fancy beer. I have To Take the Black Stout, the officially licensed Game of Thrones beer, and there's an HBO label on it.
Brilliant.
Brilliant. It's interesting.
Are you going to take it all?
I mean, yeah, I'll drink it. I'm already about
I didn't say
over a
drink.
third of the way done.
Nope. Never mentioned the word drink.
Drank.
Drank. B-Man, what's up?
Yeah, I've been mostly playing, besides the game we were reviewing tonight, I've been playing Fallout 2 all week. Actually got through the game in like 3 days for the 30th time, and it's still my all-time favorite game. I start it up and I lose hours and hours of my life just playing around. Good thing I'm unemployed, because it would have been dangerous otherwise.
Definitely good you're unemployed.
Brilliant. Over here in Finland, not much going on. Did pick up some Lucifer Ale. It's not bad. Reminds me of something I tasted.
You just bought it because you had a cork.
Pretty fucking much. You were not going to be the only one with a cork in that bottle this
Yeah.
evening. Giggity. It tastes a bit like Pete's Wicked Ale. Did have a interesting run-in. It seems the hipsters now all dress like lumberjacks.
Yeah.
With the red
that's
plaid
the thing.
shirts and the work boots and shit like that.
No high heel suspenders and a bra.
Saw that at the little fucking T-bar place, which is about 2 blocks from the studio. And I asked the barista, whatever you call the tea human thingy, very loudly. And I was like, you know those two guys see each other and they're dressed the same, right? And I just turned around and looked, and I was like, come on, really? Sodaverse.
So fucking dopers.
So, how do we start this business off, man?
Yeah, we can set it by you shutting your whore mouth and me opening up my whore mouth, because you can find us at LinuxGameCast.com, Chatrealm statically linked, our Facebook page, and our YouTube page. And for more gaming goodness, you should check out reddit.com/r/Linux_gaming, our second favorite Kiwi. And if you want to throw us some money, because, you know, we're doing this out of pocket more or less, we have 2 fuck-mothering levels of donator that you can find on our podcast page. We have producers, which you get to be for giving us money every month. You get to be in our credits. You get pre-show, pre-notes, show notes things.
Way to sell it.
And you get a shameless plug on the website. Or you can join the glorious Linux gaming master race and be featured on our little wall of shame over there. And you might get a shameless plug anyways.
But
and if
they
you don't
also
have any
get
money,
the credits at the end
The
of the
credits.
show. Yeah.
You do get you get a credit for being the member of the Glorious PC Gaming Linux Master Race. But if you don't have any money, you know what? Tell your friends, tell a cat, shout it on the street corner on a soapbox, just spread the word. We appreciate it. And speaking of people on our wall of shame, Monster C gave us $6.66. Welcome to the elite Linux Gaming Master Race. But if you were really on the ball, you would have sent us $6.16.
So does this.
Well, we also got a public service announcement for you fools, don't we?
Gather round, my favorite crackers. Gather round. Uncle Vin got some information for you. How y'all doing this evening? And this is .float Steam app manifest. Now, what this does is pretty brilliant. It allows you to go ahead and snatch non-local files from Steam. Now, you think, why would I want to do that? And I would say, why are you asking this question? Probably because you want an answer. Brilliant. Check this out.
Of course.
Open
Obviously.
Morrowind, Quake, stuff like that. Say you need the resources for the open source version of the game. This will allow you, if you already own them, you don't have to open up, Steam, Wine, download, copy over. This will just let you go ahead and download it to your Linux client. Get those files. And another brilliant feature, I think, if you know a game's about to come out on Steam, especially if it's a big download, 10 gigs, 15 gigs, some menacing number like that.
Can you beat the lineup with this thing?
Yeah. That's 95%. Then when the exe rolls around, you're going to download, 10, 15 megs about that. Boom, you're going to be playing. And everyone's going to see that in your friends list and be super jelly. About
We're going to have to go to the jelly school.
Payman, you got any thoughts? Our friend from Lutris wrote that there's also a similar thing.
Strider.
Yeah.
You may know him from our Chat Realm static. If you look on Chat Realm Dynamic right now, he's called Strikor. So if you're there, let him know you appreciate his work with Lutris because it's actually shaping up real good. But yeah, when I posted this on our Chat Realm static, Strider actually came up and said, yeah, we already have something like that in Lutris. But the Lutris script does a little something extra. It also sets up the open source version of a game automatically for you. Some of them, not all yet, but they're working on it.
He's working on it.
Yeah.
But we also have an Away of Give, number 7, and Mr. Mango from Chatroom
Mango
came to us. Mango!
Sir. Yeah, baby. Wake up.
Yeah.
From Chatroom
Yeah,
wants to throw a wet copy of Metro Last Light in your face, which might actually knock the nasty taste of Deadfall Adventures out of your mouth organ. So, we got some rules, J-Man, right?
Yeah, it's the funniest New Year's resolution for 2014 involving amputee midgets, and you must submit a YouTube video.
Now, I'm definitely thinking you should get on this because considering this contest requires effort, not many people are going to have a go at it. So you have a really strong chance of winning, a $40 game that doesn't suck. All you have to do, sit in front of a camera with your face organ, or you can wear a mask. We don't care. Just make sure it's you. Make sure we know who you are on Shot Realm. And tell us your 2014 prediction that involves amputee midgets. And boom, we'll weigh them. We'll probably get maybe 2, maybe 3 submissions. So it's pretty good, 5 minutes of your time uploaded to YouTube's. Post the link in the forums. That business is in the show notes. Horsey time. Nay.
Yes. Man, we gotta pull that out from under the deck and beat it again. It's our Steam
Linux
Update
of the week. So much energy.
Yeah.
Plenty.
12 monkeys.
Well,
Yeah, so
12
we got-
monkeys. Gabe Newell has come out and revealed the 12, which are actually 13, Steam machines. So yeah, you remember iBuyPower and Digital Storm. We actually already showed those on our show. And there's a couple more, which, according to Jordan, have some disparaging prices, so to speak.
Yeah. And I
Oh, come
Wrap
on.
that
You know that Falcon one is only 6,000 wet stinky cashes.
I know, right? Anyone who's going to be paying that much money for a console will just build their own, and it will be better and cheaper.
But I really like
Probably,
what
yeah.
you put in the notes. Like, some of these prices seem just a bit
A
off.
little, just a little bit.
And, you know,
Easy
I read that, and I was like, you know, it's like saying Hitler was just a little heavy-handed with his tactics.
Just a bit.
Just a smidgen, eh?
a little bit.
But that comes from The Verge, and, you know, they're talking about that, which, you know, there goes my 2014 prediction. So these all come,
you
am I
really
correct,
think about
P-Man,
that.
with, these come with the blessing of Steam, right? Or Valve.
Yep. These are the official Valve-supported Steam machines. They come with a controller. From the moment they're available, you buy one, you get a controller for free.
Well, for
Not really
6,000.
free. It's included in the price of the unit, man. That's how it
Right.
works.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah,
But,
speaking of
speaking of that, Valve has said they're not releasing a Steam box of their own, and I say, duh.
yeah, they had
did
already
exactly
said
what
that.
they said months ago. So far as they didn't release
Yep.
a Steam box.
now my prediction
Why
was
is anyone surprised?
Valve would never get into the hardware business, but technically they're still in the hardware business because somebody makes the Areola controller.
Yeah, if you want to get technical about it,
Yeah, if you want to win, yes, that's what you do. So you win
You
an
wanna get
argument,
correct.
pissy
Pedro.
about
The
it?
best
Fine.
kind.
They're in the hardware business.
So, you know, that's definitely a thing. I like it. 14 manufacturers. We're going to continue to make that decision as we go along. We've been happy with the results so far. And here's another thing. There was another article we didn't get a chance to throw in the notes that Steam's playing the long game. The goal of the Steam box is not necessarily to compete against current consoles, but to prolong the life of the dying PC market, which has been dying since 2001, 2002, 2003,
Yeah,
2004,
As long as
2005,
the year of the
2006.
Linux desktop was, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
PC gaming will die once Linux takes over.
Speaking of going with emotions,
SimCity? No?
Sim City, not really. This is
Cities in
ridiculous
motion.
support.
Yeah. Kind of a, well, you know, all right, the game, all right. Cities in Motion 2 is a sequel to the popular, not really, Motion 1 build, manage, and, oh, it's SimCity. Right, but you can get on the street level.
actually, it's a bit more limited than SimCity.
Wow.
All you're doing is basically controlling traffic routes and like the bus lines.
So it's
Train
virtual stuck
tracks.
behind a bus 2014.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's 50% off, and, you know, Iculus
Friend of the show ordered
Ah.
it. I mean,
Yeah, well, you know,
kind of gotta throw our hat behind his work.
you know, as Ryan said, that's the whole thing, but that was not the game anyone was hoping for.
Yeah,
Magica.
it really wasn't. The holy mother of disappointment. Yeah.
So that's the thing. Pick it up if you're extremely bored and you want to spend 20 wet stinky cashes.
But
But
Pedro,
hey,
I heard
if
you
you're
liked
bored-
LSD. Like a bit of acid
if
in your
you're
coffee
really
every morning.
bored, you can just get Secrets of LSD Lace Origami, because that's what this looks like. It's Secrets of
I
Radicon.
could see through time.
I can too. What's the big deal?
It's an action adventure early access indie platformer,
What does
and
the
it's
fuck
currently
say?
25% off.
Oh,
currently.
with the bird. Yeah, it's an atmospheric. Oh God, open. Oh,
Adventuring, exploring.
Ow!
Mm.
Gag me with a spoon. I don't know. Some people might find this to be their thing, though.
How much is it? It's $7.
Yeah, price to sell at 10 quid. But you know, this is something maybe we want to discuss because I definitely put this in the notes. It's like one of my 2014 things. You know, what do you call them? Resolutions.
Resolutions.
Right. I'm not supporting any ongoing early access anything in 2014 because it's become a business model.
Yeah, it is.
I can see that.
They're
People
like,
are
we're
like,
just
"Oh,
going
it's
to keep
in beta
developing
for
it. Yes. And that doesn't, really give you, like, we need to finish this game. It's like, let's just keep milking this motherfucker until we
Yep.
So,
And that's
Carmageddon. Go ahead. What were you saying?
That's not even early access. That promised the game.
No, that's
that
just a
never
big
showed
fuck
up.
you.
yeah, Carmageddon's just fuck you. But yeah, it's this game. Honestly, I haven't tried it, so I can't say for sure, but there are other that are no longer in early access that should be, because Legends of Ethereus. Ah man, this weird cough. Anyway,
whatever do you mean, Pedro?
Apparently we have some Contra reboots coming up.
No, not really. Well, if you're really bored, you can check out Deadly 30, which is a really odd-looking Metal Slug type clone that is on sale for $2.50.
I had
So
Metal
if you
Slug
really,
for
if
my
you really have that
original
itch to
Neo
scratch,
Geo, and this is not it.
no, it has Russians and Nazis.
No, this actually looks worse than the original Metal Slug on my Neo Geo.
I can see that.
I mean, it genuinely does. It looks like it has less color, less sprite animation.
Yeah, I don't know. If you have that particular itch to scratch and you feel like parting with 250, then I guess buy it.
Pretty cheap.
Can you survive the horror? A retro survival horror. Wow, original. All over this business.
Hop in the truck and then it just turns into Oregon Trail.
Oh.
And then it explodes.
So for 5 wet stinky caches, I guess this is a thing. The only thing...
334.
What would have saved this? I don't even have to mention it. What would save this, Pedro?
What besides proper art style?
Multiplayer.
They do have co-op.
Oh, right.
No, they don't.
They don't.
That was a previous game. Yeah, this one does not have co-op.
Well, spank my ass red and call me Susan. Coming up next, we have regular news for your face organ.
Bring it.
We're back with a regular news. And then, Jordan, I got something to ask you, gents.
Okay.
Are you ready to humbug?
Sunday!
I'm literally going to shit in your mouth. I'm literally going to shit in your mouth.
Yeah, well, you
But
do
yes,
that,
it's
son.
the
I might
Humble
just enjoy
Indie Bundle X.
Take it away, P-Man. What do we got?
XXX.
Yeah, this is the 10th Humble Indie Bundle. All Linux, all the games. Then you get To the Moon, Joe Danger 2, the movie, Papo Yo, and Runner 2 for the base level. And if you pay more than the average, which is currently sitting at $5.29.
Let the Windows users buy a few more copies. It'll get lower.
Yep. You also get Rias and Surgeon Simulator 2013. There's going to be more. They'll be unlocked next week sometime, so probably by the time this is out, you'll have more. So pay above the average. Let them know.
It's probably just
Linux
going to be shit from older
have money.
bundles. That's how Humble usually rolls.
Yeah.
But our good friend ported Rias, actually.
Yeah, there's a teeny tiny snafu with Rias, though.
Oh, yes,
If-
man.
What was that?
What's that?
Yeah, if you activate the key and you hit the Rias Retail Depot, you don't get Rias for Linux yet. But if you hit the regular Rias Depot, you get the Linux version. Flibbit actually says in the Steam forums that he's looking into it, trying to figure out why that's happening. But if you hit the retail Rias Depot, you might not be able to play yet.
Well, here's my dice on when it comes to repos. Humble launches with Steam, because let's face it, pretty much everything that launches on Humble, on the off-random moon chance that they're Steam games for Linux, this one across the board. Sync this shit up, gentlemen. Seriously.
Also, War
No.
Torchlight on Steam.
I mean, out of this, the only thing I have a run or two, but that's been around forever. Surgeon Simulator, been around forever. The only game out of that lot is Joe Danger Joe Danger 2. The movie which I played for all of like 4 minutes, and I was like, that's incredibly boring. J-Man, thoughts, hints, allegations?
Really, the one game I played out of this is the one we're reviewing this week, Papo Yo. It's a pretty good spread. I don't own most of these games, so that is a nice change of pace from Humble's.
Let's take a look at the Pac-Man.
Yeah, let's look at the Pac-Man. And Linux users are out in front again. Supply.
Consistently.
Yeah, we're doing all right. Mac users are gobbling these up quicker, but
there are more Mac users, but their average is still under Linux, as is tradition.
And of course, Windows users are just like
Alpha 23 now with added grangers.
Well, you know what? My main complaint with Unvanquished was that it completely lacked grangers. It was completely unplayable in that state with the current granger quota that it had.
When they first introduced it, I said, come on, give me 10% more grangers.
No, and they give you 12.
What the fuck? But ZOMG WTF BBQ. This is it, man. Grangers are everywhere. You can barely turn a corner without seeing one of these multi-eyed... I honestly have no fucking idea what a granger is, but here it is. Here's a picture of one, and it's in the newest alpha, which is Unvanquished Alpha 23, and it has been released along with audio system rewrite and improved turrets, so I guess they might not be offing fellow teammates or anything like that, along with various other changes. Like Snow Station is now known as Chasm. How edgy.
Ooh. Chasm,
and they finally fixed the exploit. They finally fixed the exploit with the defense computers, because if you set up enough defense computers in a round, pretty much none of the human structures would suffer any damage. Any damage that the aliens would deal would be automatically healed, because you could literally have millions of them in one round.
Millions!
You had the space. So yeah, they finally nerfed that and scrapped the defense computers altogether. So now the buildings have a self-repair option of their own, which is not as exploitable. Let's say it like that.
That's pretty awesome.
And
definitely
that's
check this out, because it comes at that golden price of naught.
Yep.
There's no
much like our next game. Much like Liquid War, which has been updated to version 6.0235551. And after more than 2 years, according to Christian Modwi, that's French. After more than 2 years without a release, here's finally one. No revolution for now, but an important contribution from EPTech students. It's a French IT school who implemented a libcaca graphical, text for that matter. Libcaca. As well as a new handicap mode. So yeah, after 2 years without people caring particularly enough, there's now an update, which is actually sort of a preparation for the multiplayer, online multiplayer.
So you're basically one blob versus another blob, which we're watching a trailer I made billions of years ago in the future's past. And it's their official trailer for whatever reason.
A review by LGC.
Yeah, a review by LGC, which was LG Me.
Oh, yeah, way back when.
Way back when.
The OOG days.
OG days, but check that out. I mean, it's fun. I always would, love to play this on a mobile device. I think that'd be a bit more awesome than sitting around. But it is.
It's a thing.
Once you figure it out and what the goal is, it's genuinely fun.
What is the goal? Like to engulf the other blob?
Basically, right. You have to surround them. I mean, there's a bit of strategy to it, which takes a minute to figure out. So definitely good on that, but
those rogues, they're flying now.
Yeah. Skyrogue. So I saw this game on IndieDB, and I thought to myself, this looks like Star Fox. So I downloaded it.
Did you chop your legs off first?
And it is Star Fox.
Do a barrel roll.
done entirely in Unity, which is certainly a thing. But yeah, I mean, it works out of the box with an Xbox controller, and it's Star Fox. If you played Star Fox, you played this game.
Yeah.
And that's really all that's all there is to say about this.
Yeah, there was one thing that Ven actually noticed before I did, which is it's a Unity game, and if you're using Windows and watching this for some reason, you probably know that Unity games have a pop-up that shows up before the game starts that lets you change graphic settings and controls.
Yes, the lazy programmer button.
Yeah. So that usually doesn't work under Linux, except with this game. Now it works.
Yep.
I
saw that window and I went, oh. I was like, all right, if you're going to nope out and doing these, at least have the courtesy of, making this work. And I was like, oh, look, all the selection thingies. Brilliant.
And it works.
And
it's fucking works.
Made awesome use of the Super FX chip.
It's mode 7ing the hell out of my PC.
I know, but it also worked directly out of the box with my X-Clone controller. Didn't have any issues with it.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Yep.
So
even with my DualShock 2 out of the box, good on
check
them.
that out, and
Although,
go ahead.
Yeah, they should probably not zip the Linux version, or if they do, they should learn about file permissions before they do it.
Yeah,
maybe.
What's a file permission?
Just maybe. Perhaps.
What do you mean? Case sensitive? Case sensitive? What?
What's this
Case
octal
sensitive?
nonsense? What, you count to 10, you don't count to 8.
Lies! Anyway, the Skyrogue Alpha 11 is out for who shall not be named, hipsters, and the glorious Linux Gaming Master Race. So,
yes,
that's brilliant. Doesn't cost you a dime. Definitely check it out. I mean, harkens back to the days of having no legs and being a space pirate.
Do a barrel roll.
So, that's going to end it for our news segment. But coming up next, we get a bit of puzzly flavor with monsters. Isn't that right, J-Man?
Monster smoking the tree. It's Papa and Yo coming up next.
Yo.
Yeah.
And we're back, throwing some imaginary chairs at Papo and Yo by Minority Media. This is an Unreal 3 engine that, shock of all shocks, doesn't take forever to load. So $14.99 what stinky caches, or £10.99. I don't know what the sub or euros. I'm not sure what a sub euro is. So I'm just gonna call them sub euros and leave them at that. So according to this blurb I have in front of me, as Quico, players will build their friendship with Monster by solving puzzles and adventuring through a magical, surrealist world. Players will need to use Monster's emotions, both good and bad, to their advantage if they want to complete their search for a cure and save their pal from getting hit by cars.
Man, that is definitely bitch you about to get raped right there.
I know. You should see what he actually does with that horn. It's very, very interesting. Kurt, you can pick this up as part of the Humble Indie Bundle as well. You can't renew it on Steam, though, because the Steam version does not have a Linux depot. But the DRM-free version works, and that's what we're going to be reviewing off of.
It's
so,
not
time
exactly
to cue our chair
DRM-free.
explanation. We got 4 whack-ass categories based on this 4-chair metric of ours. We got nope. For 1 chair, it means it's shit. 2 chairs means that it's meh. 3 chairs means that it's pretty good. And 4 chairs means that it's orgasmically awesome. We also have our categories of Doom. Mixed with the working. Well, does it work well? Shiny and sounds is for the auditory and visual elements of the game. Controls is self-explanatory. And our final subjective category is fun. So then, did Papo and Yo make with the working?
Papo and Yo, definitely made with the working. It ran out of the box with everything on 11. Take that shot on a Ubuntu. Vanilla base level test system, 1204 32-bit, 770 powered with the latest beta drivers. some interesting things that also made with the working. If you have Steam open while you're playing the DRM free version, it keeps track of your saves and unlocks your achievements. So I'm guessing this is eventually going to show up.
I didn't have Steam running while I was playing this.
Right. So
I thought it kind of kept it in a file, but
that's kind of how you rock and roll with that, because even with the DRM free version, you'll see like your Steam achievements pop up in your lower right.
Yep, it has the libsteam library in the game.
We were talking about that in Chat Realm Static over the week, and also mixed with the working, the shaders, Unreal 3, you're thinking, wait, it's Unreal 3! You must have to compile the shaders in Middle-earth and bring them back by, like, real-time travel, no fast travel. Nope, not the case. This one, boom, everything works. It's kind of beautiful, made with the working, so, boom, check that business out. 4 mothering chairs, J-Man!
Well, aside from one small issue with not being able to disable frame smoothing, because I was playing this on my Steam boxen with it, which is an A10 60 800K. Is it a 6800 or 5800? I can never remember. Anyways, it's one of those crazy whacked out APUs. It runs out of the box. I didn't crank everything to 11 because frame smoothing kind of screws that up, but that's not enough. Issues with AMD doesn't really mean you got to ding at a chair. So for that, I'll give it 4 chairs.
P-Man.
Yeah, very similarly to Jordan, frame smoothing. We'll get to that later, but it was the first Unreal Engine 3 game that actually ran out of the box with the open source drivers since Dungeon Defenders. 4 chairs for me.
We all love Dungeon Defenders. I mean, that's the bee's knees.
Yep.
DRM, the game. So that'll be 4 chairs from Mix with the Working. Coming up is Shiny End Sounds, Ven, where your eye pussies captivated and your ear pussies make gentle love.
Ear pussies. Oh, they were the things, definitely. Sounds, all right, they work for what they are. Nothing special. Nothing's going to blow your mind on that. Really takes advantage, unlike a game we mentioned last week, Deadfall Adventures, of the aging Unreal 3 engine.
Yep.
It's like, okay, I understand what this game engine is capable of doing, and let's make it do that. So you don't have like this like forced thing going on. I mean, it looks beautiful for what it is, and really got to knock it for the shiny, not the sounds, but the shiny, because the protagonist,
Kiko.
Not
what the kid.
Kiko.
Right. His character model seems like it's like a total of 6 polygons. Or something like that. It's like, if I'm staring at this dude this entire time, nice touch, missing the shoe and all that, but apparently he, gets real strippy later on in the game.
He gets progressively more naked.
But his character model seemed like it was extremely low res compared to the rest of the game. So I'm going to ding it 1 chair just for that. And I'm just being picky, but definitely 3 chairs on that business.
Yeah, like Ven said, this game looks great despite it being made with the very, very almost antiquated Unreal 3 engine. So it goes to show you that you can have good anything, really. I mean, you have the bad, like Deadfall Adventures and Painkiller Hell and Damnation, and then on the flip side, you have something like this. The soundtrack doesn't really. The soundtrack leaves a little to be desired, and the character model does look a bit weird once they give him a lot of close-ups too, which really doesn't help. Because you get right in his face, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's my suspension of disbelief." But other than that, the environments are actually gorgeous. I love them. I'm gonna give this 3 chairs.
I mean, this game really made me feel like I was poor.
Yeah. So ignoring the undertones of the comments that were made, give me an option to disable the fucking frame smoothing. That shit doesn't work. At least it didn't on my end, and it didn't on Jordan's end. So,
yep.
If you're passing, if you're selling if you're selling an Unreal Engine 3 game under Linux, either disable
AMD problems.
frame smoothing by default, or at least give me a fucking option to disable it. Because as it currently stands, I can't. It's just unbearable. 3 chairs.
All right, well, that's 3 chairs in Shiny and Sons, and for an Unreal 3 game, that seems oddly appropriate. Get it? Get it? Coming up next, Control. Ven, were you in control of a starving African child?
You mean one that has daddy issues? Little ones. Well, hands down, it worked perfectly with the X-Clone controller because I refused to give Microsoft any money directly. Here's the nice. I mean, the game X-Clone worked out of the box. Really impressed with that. Not so much now as I was in Genesis when things just started working with it.
It rumbles. What the hell?
Out of the box, but Gamepad also flipped the hell out on a few occasions, which just required a bit of button mashing, and it sorted itself. Keyboard plus wireless gerbil. No issues with that interface, but I really felt that this is something you want to play with a controller because it's a sit-back game. It's not a first-person shooter in that business, so no issues with it outside of the random flip-outs on the controller. 3 chairs.
3 chairs.
3 chairs.
You know what? I didn't really have any issues with the controller flipping out. I actually played the entire thing with the controller. I didn't even try it with the keyboard and mouse just because it's a platformer, and platformers almost universally require controllers. The one real gripe I had with the controls is if you let go of like the grab button for a second while you're in the middle of maneuvering something, you're done. You got to start that again, and that got pretty annoying. It's just like aw. that puzzle where you have to stack all the buildings on top of each other, and then sort of redirect them so you can get to the other parts of the level. Yeah, that one was particularly annoying because of that. But no real issues other than that. 3 chairs. It's a good score. Solid score.
Yep.
Seems legit.
And the really, personally, the only gripe I had was that I can't disable mouse smoothing. It's frame smoothing and mouse smoothing. Those things don't work under Linux. So give me an option to disable them, please, already. So yeah, 3 chairs for me, because besides that, it worked just fine.
All right, well, that's 3 cheers for Control.
Doing
That's
good.
pretty decent. Yeah.
Bonus.
Yep.
Bonus soda. Finally, our last subjective category. Fun. Ven, did you enjoy yourself?
What's that? What's that note trade? Do I hear the note trade coming? Oh yeah. Cheer, motherfucker. Here comes the note trade. Because checkpoints can eat a big, wet, hairy bag. Seriously, they can. Let me save the fuck mothering game. For fuck's sake. Fuck. Seriously. Checkpoints. Slam me so many times because, sometimes it's like a 3-part puzzle to do this. You gotta get monster. You gotta do this, get monster over here, do this. Then you get to the next checkpoint. Sometimes I gotta go do other shit, and I don't want to leave the game running constantly. So there's no, nope out. You're like, oh, yeah, you were almost right. That last part of the puzzle you couldn't fix. Start the fuck over again. Fuck you. That's why. So that really broke the fun aspect for me. But I won't give it 1 chair. I'll give it an extra chair because, as I said, if you do have Steam running while you have the DRM free version running, it's keeping track of your save games on Steam, your time played, and your achievements. So I can't give it 1 chair, but I will give it a big fat meh chair with a double deuce.
The double deuce. I thought this game was actually really nice. This is a fun puzzle platformer. With
No, I enjoyed
really
it.
Nice, with really nice backgrounds and a really cool premise. I find it very relaxing. I didn't really have the issue with the checkpoints because I found that I could get through the puzzles relatively quickly.
Mr. Smarty Pants.
Yeah. But no, it's you get a checkpoint after every puzzle. That seems fair. Saving in the middle of puzzles kind of I get why they didn't do that, so I don't really see too much of an issue with it. This is a really fun game. It's by no means a perfect game. The pacing can be a bit weird sometimes, and your character gets progressively more naked, which makes me fear for my life as Chris Hansen knocks down my door. So I'll give that 3 chairs in the fun department.
Hey, Jordan.
What was that?
Why don't you have a seat over there?
I'm not on one of these lawn chairs. Pedro.
Okay, so this game had the 6-year-old in me prancing like a little girl with joy, which wasn't that far of a stretch, so yeah. But yeah, it was pretty fun. Like Jordan said, it's a very, very fun platformer. I actually hadn't had this much fun with since Portal. I think Portal was the last one. Yeah. Good on them. And it pulls at the heartstrings when you start to realize what the story behind the game is. It sort of pulls at your heartstrings, and as a previously paid game critic, that resonates well with me, and kudos again on them for that.
Hey, Pedro, didn't you used to review games professionally?
Yes, I did. A few years ago.
Are you trying to kill another company?
Yeah, so the magazine went out of print. They ran out of money.
Pedro, how many chairs?
Yeah, but much like Ven, I'm forced to duck in a chair because of the inability to save whenever I want. And Jordan, to give you an example of saving in between puzzles, Portal. 3 chairs for me.
All right, well, that's 2 chairs for the fun category. I would say that's 2 chairs with an asterisk because Ven's a bit whatever. So, our final score, combining makes with the working, shiny and sounds, controls, and fun, comes to 3 chairs for Papo and Yo, which means definitely check this out. Buy this game. It's good fun.
You know, I enjoyed it.
I think you will enjoy it.
Final thoughts, like I said initially, it looks beautiful. I mean, it did a fantastic job of just the environment and moving, giant buildings around. I was like, that's neat.
I know.
Yep.
I'm down with that. And that's the strength of the Unreal 3 engine, moving all that business around. And, of course, everything's brown. But
kind of makes sense given the setting.
It's like one of those situations. You're like, all right, I get it. And, then monsters not clearly explained to you at first. And it's like, all right. Oh, he's my friend, so I shouldn't run for them.
He is your father. That's not true. That's impossible.
What does he want to do with that horn? Final thoughts, J-Man.
Buy this freaking game. It's good fun. It's a gorgeous game, and the makers deserve
indie
your
game
money.
too, right?
It is an indie game. The makers of this game deserve your money. You should definitely go buy it. It's on the Humble Bundle for the next week or so you can pick that up for basically anything you want. And if you're watching this after the fact, go buy it anyways. It's what, like $10?
Yeah.
$15?
Steam.
Yeah, it's $15 right now on Steam, and it is a good game. Like I said, since Portal, there hasn't been any platformers that have captivated me in both the story and the gameplay itself. And this game, it's again one of those good games because it gives you the story through gameplay.
It's like 3D mist on food stamps.
Kinda. It has some cutscenes, but most of the story is given to you through gameplay, and that to me is awesome. Seriously, get the game.
What's up next year, man?
Coming up next, your hate mail live on air.
And it's time for that segment you all know and love because you provide the content. It's our hate mail.
Hate mail.
Again, we're not going to go into detail, but if you're trying to promote Indiegogos and whatnot, demo, prototype included. Otherwise, nope. So let's get into this. Pinky
well, no,
swears?
you can grab us at our contact page. We have a page where you can submit emails to us. That is a
Cleverly
thing.
disguised under a contact button. Right.
Indeed. So first up, Pinky Swear.
Pinky swear from nobody, John. Hey, Pinky swear. He gonna say, good work, guys. Thanks for the vids. Just subscribed. I'll be joining the Linux community and PCs for the first time as soon as Steam machines are released. Hey.
Good luck with that.
No, you won't. I am going to summon my inner Jordan and say, yeah, just like everyone who said, as soon as Dota 2 is released for Linux, I'm going to be a Linux game. No. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not feeling that, Jim. You get any thoughts on everyone who says, if this one thing happens, I'll become a Linux gamer?
If that's what's putting you on the edge of being a Linux user, I'd probably stick with Windows.
He cannot become a Linux gamer unless he can spend $6,000.
Yes,
that is true. Or you can build your own computer, install Debian or
Arch!
Manjaro, I think it's called now, not Mandrake anymore. Any one of those distros, and stick around with it. Don't do it just for the gaming. If you are going to take Linux seriously, then you have to actually go in and learn it, because that's the only way you can use it.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's the only way you're going to enjoy it.
That would be almost as bad as dual booting, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it?
Pretty much.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink.
I don't dual boot anymore. I haven't been dual booting for over a year.
What?
I haven't been dual booting for over a year.
Yeah, I didn't have the camera on you.
You did briefly.
So, our disbelief in Butter John's claims aside,
if you're gonna do it, do it. And that's it.
Yeah, but we also have some tips. Well, Evil Penguin wants some tips. Then, fuck you all. Tips on podcasting from Linux.
Fuck you
nice.
all. Happy face.
Fuck you all.
Lols.
Tips on podcasting from Linux would be nice.
Don't do it!
Yep, horrible idea. Don't do it. There's a reason. We're the #1 Linux gaming podcast. No one else is mad enough to even attempt this. Well, actually, they are. Well, they're capable
they
of.
attempted a couple of times. Been there, done that.
And there are some Linux podcasts, but they're recorded on Macs and shit. So
Yep.
So this is
no shit advice. Hang on. Yeah, I do want to say, I mean, if you're genuinely thinking about doing, you don't need these sparkly cowboy boots and the lackady hairdo. I mean, you can get away with something like what P-Man has. What did we pay for that? Like €70? 60,
no, it was
50,
46 euros.
46 euros.
Yeah.
Something like that, and just record directly into it. But I always say, if you want to do, step one, buy, I don't care if it's a $20 USB external mixer, buy an external mixer. Because that'll make you stick with it. And stick with it. Keep doing it week after week after week. That is...
Even when people tell you to stop, please, God, stop. My ears are bleeding.
No more.
I can't take it anymore.
I mean, Chatroom, the only time I've ever seen them flip the hell out was when we didn't show up that one Saturday.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
They got really talkative.
So, all right, so this next one's from Lapinopple, and he's talking about boxen. So, I decided to ditch AMD for good and got myself a 770 just like Ven did. Maybe some incel CPU. Problem is, I need a new motherboard, and since Ven already got the system built around 770, I figured he can help. Oh, and I got a micro ATX case. You mind if I take this one, bud?
Go for it, Mom.
How about you do your own damn hardware research? You could go to newegg.com, and they have like these nice little checkboxes to the left-hand side that you can use to narrow things down. Or perhaps you could use that thing, I don't know, it's been around for a couple of years, Google.
I think Lapino is Polish. I think that PL at the end stands from, Poland. So
P
Newegg
stands
is out
for
of the question.
penis. But anyways,
No,
yeah,
if
you can
if you look
do
into
research
that,
online, man.
Right.
It's not that building a PC is not rocket science.
Intel CPU, for the Steam boxen, if you got a 770, I would definitely cheap out and buy an APU and do what I did, slap a 770 in it, because most games these days, even like the 1.6 gigahertz APUs, they work just fine when you have a 770 sitting on top. They're not they are GPU, but not CPU intensive, and you'll definitely see that with Unity games and the like. Go ahead.
No, that was it. It's games nowadays are GPU hogs. You can have like an i3, a cheapo i3, or an APU, like Ven was saying. And as long as you have a proper video card, you're set. I'm stuck with a calculator. It means I can't update my video card. So,
Hell,
yeah.
even the APU GPUs are pretty decent.
Yeah.
I don't have any problems with them for the most part.
Yeah, the current A10 APUs have some really, really good.
Take a shot, but seriously, pick of the year 770 is Curb Stompotron for anything.
Yeah.
Indeed. So I think that wraps up our hit mail section.
Well, it's too quiet, so
Yep.
let's cue the music so they can find us and all that business that we do, because I'm Vin Stone. You can find me cleverly disguised at Vin Stone on the Twitter nets, plus Vin Stone on the G+, and my heterosexual life partners will tell you where they are.
Yeah, I'm actually cleverly hidden at The Burning Fool on Twitter, and not so cleverly hidden at Plus Jordan Sfung on Google+.
And as for me, if you need some more Twitter followers, follow me on Twitter at unaccounted4 with a U. And if you're on Google+, add me to your circles. I'll add you right back. Plus Pedro Mateus.
But unaccounted for with a U? Oh.
Yep.
As opposed to the
You,
13 symbol. So, at the end of the day,
Take a shot. Hey,
Guess
we
we need
already
to-
did this.
take a shot.
Strike a pose. Vogue. Skull.
Now, cue the producers.